Hey, what's up, YouTube? Casual Brews here with my Week 5 NFL picks. Like I alluded to in my Week 4 recap, picks sucked last week. Um, Coming off of Week 3 where I went 21-14, really good. Had pretty much an exact reversal in Week 4, 14-21, and won that one push tie there being the Thursday night game on the over under Jacksonville, Cincinnati. So yeah, rough week, but you look at the last 2 weeks combined, dead even. So see if I can break that out here next week. Took a little more time probably making these picks, kind of looked at injuries and that stuff, and really kind of hummed and hawed over them a little more maybe. So we'll see if that pays off. I don't know. Sometimes it's better just to not overthink. Sometimes it's better to think things through a little more. But yeah, we'll see. Depending on certain picks, I'll kind of go through some of my thought process. First game of the week, Thursday nighter. My Seattle Seahawks are 2.5-point underdogs at home against the LA Rams. Yeah, I mean, Rams have kind of had our number, especially last year. Obviously, beat them in their second meeting, just to lose in the playoffs in a stinker, low-scoring game. So I don't know. Rams coming off a bad loss, unexpected loss. I really thought they would beat the Cardinals pretty handily. Arizona blew them out. So that would lead you to believe that maybe the Rams would be angry, come back, and have a good showing. But Thursday night football, like, I would feel worse about this game if it was a Sunday game. But Thursday night game, Seahawks generally play pretty well on Thursday nights. So I like them here. 2.5 points. I mean, might as well just take them outright on the money line too. Didn't see a lot that was good in their win against the 49ers, but if anything, I like the resiliency after a terrible start in that game to come back and play a good second half, albeit obviously against Trey Lance and, with other injuries the Niners had and no kicker. So take it with a grain of salt, but I just feel like Thursday night games get a little crazy. Yeah, I just think they're going to squeak this one out somehow. I can't really explain it logically, but I just feel like off that win, the morale will be high for the Seahawks. I think they'll squeak this one out. Expect kind of a messy game again. So I'm taking the under 54.5. I think that's pretty high for a Thursday night game. The Rams were supposed to have a good defense. Didn't look like it against Arizona, obviously, but supposed to have a good defense, so they should probably hold Seattle again. I feel like this could be another game where Seattle kind of starts sluggish on offense, figures it out late. Rams, I think Seattle's defense showed some good things, again, albeit against the rookie quarterback, but they showed some good things in that second half. I think they'll come out and maybe not. I mean, Rams' offense is so good, so they're not going to completely shut them down, but I think they can hold them to like 20 points maybe, and I think the Seahawks can win a game like kind of messy, ugly, maybe like 24-20 here. If I had to pick a score, that's what I would go with, 24-20 Seattle. Next up, we got Falcons, 3-point favorites at home against the Jets. This one really was hard. Jets obviously coming off a win. Maybe Tennessee's not that good. They're obviously injured. Both Jones and A.J. Brown were out in that game. So I don't put a ton of stock into that, really. Jets are a well-coached team. It's not the same old Jets, embarrassing Jets. So I had them down here outright, +3, whatever. But in the end, I'm like, Atlanta hung tough, and they looked good at times against Washington. Their defense let them down, but that's been the case for the last few years. Matt Ryan played a great game. I think he had 4 touchdowns, no picks. Still lost. So I think Atlanta is just going to figure out how to put up enough points. Just the veteran experience of Matt Ryan against obviously inexperienced Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson will have a decent game. I mean, anyone can have a good game offensively against the Falcons. So I think it'll be a close game, but I think Atlanta will, just off of experience and just maybe weapons and that, a little more offensive capability, I think the Falcons will pull this one out. So I like them -3 here. I also like the over 46. I just think Falcons defense sucks. I think the Jets can at least get 20, 23 points. And then the Falcons, obviously a little more. So I like that over 46 there. I got killed on the totals last week. That's what really killed me. I was 500 against the spread, 10-10, but over under I was like 4-11-1. So I don't know. I tried to maybe change my thinking a little bit on these over under picks because it was so bad last week. Next up, we got Denver +1 on the road against Pittsburgh. It's an interesting, kind of a strange line because I mean Denver's 3-1, Pittsburgh's 1-3, but Pittsburgh is favored. Obviously at home, you kind of think 3 points you give the home team. But yeah, it just shows Denver that record. They only played winless teams all year, and they didn't look so good against Baltimore. And I don't think Bridgewater, it sounds like he might play. He's possible to clear concussion protocol. But if he doesn't play, I love Pittsburgh in this. I don't think Drew Lock's going to do much against Pittsburgh's defense. But yeah, either way, I just think Pittsburgh, just with Tomlin and that and some of the veterans they have there, I just don't see how they keep this slide going. I retract my pick on them to win the division, that's for sure. But I just think they're too well coached, too experienced to lay another stinker here against obviously a Denver team that's solid, but not 3-1 really. So I like Pittsburgh -1 here. Crazy over only 39.5 is the point total, and I don't know. I just thought, whereas maybe in the past I'd be like, oh well, you have to take the over there. It's so low, but they're two good defenses. Denver, especially if Bridgewater can't go, and even if he can go, he's going to be short on practice because I don't think he practiced today. So yeah, I just think they're going to struggle to move the ball. Like they couldn't score against the Ravens even when Bridgewater was in the game. So Pittsburgh's defense is better than Baltimore's. I just think Denver will struggle to score here, and Pittsburgh hasn't really done much offensively so far. Their offensive game plan just seems so vanilla, so just they can't figure it out. So I like this under 39.5. It's crazy, but it's like so low it's begging you to take it because it just means something. It just means that these teams struggle to score. Good defenses. Could see this game being like 17-14, 17-13 Pittsburgh. So yeah, I mean Browns Vikings just had a 14-7 game. Can happen. I think it'll happen here too. So give me the under 39.5. Next up, we got Carolina 3.5 point favorites at home against the Eagles. Again, kind of another weird line. You got same thing where you got like a 3-1 Carolina team. Again, maybe a flawed record. They got beat pretty bad by Dallas. Made it kind of close late, but garbage time, whatever. Against an Eagles team that's looked pretty bad most of the year. So only 3.5 point favorites at home for Carolina seems like it's begging to be taken. And I think after that kind of bad loss, I think they'll bounce back. Philly struggles defensively. Yeah, I like Carolina here. That was an easy pick, honestly, to cover the 3.5. I also like the over 45. I think Philly's offense looked good against Kansas City, against arguably one of the worst defenses that the Chiefs have. But yeah, I just think they'll at least kind of pull their weight a little bit. I could see them scoring 17, 20 points, maybe. Carolina covering the rest. I think Carolina will have a good bounce back game here. So I like the over 45. Again, kind of a low total, I thought. I know Carolina's good defense is good, but Dallas sure had no problems with him. But yeah, so give me the over 45 here. Next up, we got Detroit +9, 9-point underdogs against Minnesota. In Minnesota. I just think this line is too big for a divisional game. I know Detroit's obviously 0-4. They've been close. They were a 66-yard field goal away from, beating the Ravens. So they've been close. They've fought hard, and I think Minnesota is just a team that doesn't really blow anyone out. They They win close games. I think they'll win another close game here. Detroit's luck will continue to be, against them. And yeah, I like Minnesota to win a close game here. So give me Detroit with the points, +9. Just too much divisional game. The way Detroit's been playing, and Minnesota, although has looked good at times, they're not going to blow even Detroit out, I don't think. So +9, take it all the way. I also like the under 49 here. And another one I kind of struggle with back and forth. I just think that Detroit's defense isn't that bad. Minnesota, defensively they're not great, but I just think divisional game, it'll be a slugfest. I got to go with the under here. Green Bay, Cincinnati. Green Bay 3-point favorites at Cincinnati. To me, this is another weird line. Like, I know I said that last week a few times, and I was probably wrong on some of them, but it seems like too little. Like, Green Bay has looked, besides their week 1, whatever that was against the Saints, they've looked really good. They've covered. They were underdogs against San Fran. They won outright. They covered against Pittsburgh, so it's 2 straight wins against the spread, and to only be 3-point favorites against the Bengals seems kind of crazy. I think Cincinnati's still got some injuries on defense. I don't think Bates is going to be back, and a couple of other guys, so I just think it's a no-brainer here, honestly. And I like the over 51. Jair Alexander, I think, is hobbled. I don't know. I think he's questionable. Even if he plays, he might be limited. Outside of him, they don't got a lot of good defensive backs. There's reports they're interested, obviously, in Stephon Gilmore. I don't know. At the time of making this video, he's still free agent. That might change. I don't know. But yeah, I just think defensively, Green Bay still has some question marks. Cincinnati's been scoring decently well. Joe Burrow looks pretty good. Their run game looks good. Green Bay can obviously score as well. So to me, that's an easy over 51 as well. I could see Green Bay winning something like 31-24 here. Next up, we got New England 9-point favorites at Houston. Houston was 16.5-point underdogs last week. I was all over Buffalo to cover that. They just suck. At least without Tyrod Taylor. I mean, I don't think Tyrod was that good, but he made them at least look respectable. They won their week 1 game. He obviously gets hurt, and Davis Mills just isn't ready to be a starting quarterback. He may never be, honestly. I don't think they expect him to be, honestly, at any point this year, at least. So it looks like he'll be back in this game. And yeah, Belichick just owns Houston. They've killed them every time they play, as far as I can remember. So, especially with a rookie quarterback, it's just going to be all over him. So, and even though this isn't the New England offense, the Brady offense that would roll into Houston and wipe the floor with them, but they had a nice moral victory, if you will, against Tampa Bay, and I think they'll keep that rolling here. I think they beat Houston pretty soundly, not as bad as Buffalo did, but I could see this being 24-10. Maybe Houston finds a way to get a garbage time touchdown. So I like the under 39.5 as well here, the second 39.5 total of the week, and I'm going to take it as well. Again, mostly because I don't think Houston will score much. I don't think New England's defense is quite as good as Buffalo's, but they'll still, like I said, hold them to 10 points or less maybe. And then New England offense not great too, so they're not going to just get the over themselves by any means. So give me that low under again too here. Next up, we got the Saints -1 at Washington. Basically a pick 'em. I mean, so another game I went back and forth on. I almost wanted to go Washington, just money line +1, whatever. But yeah, I think Saints bounce back here. Tough loss in overtime to the Giants. Giants have been a frisky team all year. Haven't looked as bad as their 0-3 record. Found a way to win in New Orleans. I just think that's a bad loss that a well-coached team like the Saints can bounce back from. Washington's defense was supposed to be good, one of the best in the NFL, and they've been getting just shredded all year. So I don't know. You would think they would find a way to turn it around, but it's looked bad for long enough that maybe they're just not. Maybe it's just their secondary is not holding up. I don't know. I haven't watched enough of their games, but yeah, even a great pass rush can be neutralized if you can't cover. So I think think the Saints will find a way to maybe expand the playbook a little bit for Jameis, take a few more shots, maybe open up the middle of the field a little bit, get some crossing routes in there, and just I think they'll just find a way to bounce back. Washington kind of scraped by Atlanta, wasn't an impressive win really. I like the Saints here, so -1 Saints, take it, and I like the over 44.5 again because Washington's defense just hasn't shown that they are who we thought they were. And New Orleans defense is kind of hot and cold. But I think they'll score enough to cover that over just on their own. I could see this game being like 30-20 or something like that for New Orleans. So take the over. Next up, we got Jacksonville getting 4.5 at home against Tennessee. This game's going to be something because all the crazy drama going on with Urban Meyer, reports that he canceled the team meeting because of all the drama going on with him, and the players have no respect for him in the locker room. They laughed at him after he came in and offered like a half-hearted apology to them. They all laughed at him after he left the dressing room, that he even knows they were laughing at him, and it's just a disaster down there. So this could either be a game where the team rallies, or Jacksonville kind of rallies around themselves, plays for themselves, says, fuck the coach, let's just go play for ourselves, win this game, fuck him. Or it could be a game the players are just, their minds are elsewhere. It's just a dumpster fire. And I think generally speaking, these kind of situations lead to just terrible performances. So I like Tennessee to cover that 4.5. Tennessee hasn't really looked great lately, but obviously they just lost to the Jets, so it's tough to take them to cover anything after that. But yeah, I just think Jacksonville is in a lot of trouble. So I like Tennessee to cover the 4.5. And as far as the over/under 48.5, I literally scratched off over, I scratched off under, and then I wrote over again. This is a really hard one because Jacksonville could just be all kinds of fucked up and not even be able to score really in this game. But Tennessee's defense isn't very good. I think even if Tennessee gets a big lead early, which they probably will, I can see Jacksonville kind of just maybe for pride kind of scoring a couple times. Trevor Lawrence has looked really good at times, really bad at times. I think Tennessee's defense isn't very good. Neither is Jacksonville's, so I think that over 48.5 squeaks by. But I literally went over in this one, so if I'm wrong, I won't be surprised. So Tennessee and the over here. Next up, we have the Chargers, 1.5-point favorites at home against the Browns. Just hard to bet against the Chargers after what I saw on Monday night. I've been wrong about them a couple times this year, I think. Yeah, I just like them to cover that. Cleveland didn't look very impressive in their win against the Vikings. Their defense is really good, so it causes me some concern that they could shut down the Chargers, but I think the Chargers have a lot of weapons. Good running back. They got obviously Keenan Allen, Mike Williams on the outside. They can throw to Eckler out of the backfield too. They got some production from their tight ends as well. Yeah, I just think Chargers beat Cleveland here. It's going to be a close game. Another over/under pick that I don't love, but I had to take one. I took 46.5 over. Even though Cleveland's got a good defense, I think Cleveland has to kind of figure it out on offense here. They know their offense. They know they were lucky to win the Minnesota game off of the back of their defense. So I think they just have to sort of figure out a better plan offensively. And Chargers defense, I don't know. Pass rush is good, but I don't know about their secondary. So I think Cleveland could have some success. Chargers offense obviously looks really good, so I think they'll put up enough points here, even against the good Cleveland defense. Yeah, I don't love that pick at all, but I don't know. I just kind of went. I feel like last week I would have picked the under here, so I'm trying to mix it up a little bit in my thought process. I don't know because I was so bad against the totals last week. So yeah, give me the over 46.5 here. Whatever. Next game, Arizona. Kind of a surprising line too. 5.5-point favorites at home. At home against the 49ers. A little hydration here. Arizona, 5.5-point favorites at home against the 49ers. Kind of surprising line. I mean, Trey Lance will be starting again. Maybe a full week of practice will do him some good. I don't know. It just seems like after Arizona killed the Rams that they'd be favored by more against a Niners team that's decimated by injuries again. Obviously, their backup quarterback now and Trey Lance is playing. Would have thought it'd be a lot higher. It's almost like it maybe the odds makers think it was a fluke that they beat the Rams, that they still need to show a little more, even at 4-0. I don't know. Or they just think the rest of the Niners team is that good. I don't. I've been saying they're overrated. Their secondary is decimated. I think they have 2 corners that are out. Maybe they'll be healthy this game. I didn't look like it though. Yeah, I didn't see enough from Trey Lance. He's a rookie. He had very limited, obviously, experience in college even, so he's going to take some time. Yeah, if Jimmy G was playing, even that would be a line that would make sense, 5.5, based off what we've seen from each team so far. But the fact that it's 5.5 with Trey Lance and all the other injuries they have, like Robbie Gould, I think is still out. They'll obviously probably sign someone off the street, some veteran or something to kick. But yeah, it's a surprising line, so I'm all over it. I'm all over Arizona -5.5 here. But I mean, who knows? Arizona just turns into a pumpkin in this game, and San Fran's defense comes to the task. I don't know. I like the over 50 points here as well. Kind of a tough one, maybe because obviously Lance is playing. But I think this could be a game where Arizona gets a big lead early, and then a couple garbage time touchdowns, maybe, because he's got a really good arm. Like if they are down big early and they just say fuck it, let's just bomb it down the field. You got Deebo Samuel, you got Kittle. They could get a couple quick touchdowns to hit the over, even if the game's out of reach. So, and then obviously Arizona's offense looked amazing. It's looked amazing all year. They'll probably put up 30 on their own. So, I think San Fran can maybe kind of get something going late in the game against the prevent defense with a big lead. So, give me the over 50. Next, we got Dallas, 7-point favorites at home against the New York Giants. It's kind of a tough game to call because these two teams always seem to play each other close, no matter how good or how bad either one is. But I just really like how Dallas has looked this year. Dallas, I've been on them. I think I've picked them each week. Honestly, they've looked really good. Their only loss being the Bucks week 1. Game they honestly could have won. They beat the Chargers. The only team to beat the Chargers. Killed the Panthers. Looked good again. Killed the Eagles. Killed the Panthers. Their defense looks, at bare minimum, looks average, which is all you could really hope for when you have an offense that's that effective running and throwing the ball. So, yeah, again, divisional matchup. These two teams always play each other tough. So it's tempting to pick the Giants to cover at least here, but I just think Dallas looks different this year. There's something going on. They got their defense going. Their offense is firing on all cylinders. So I like Dallas to cover, -7. At worst, I feel like it'll be a push. Dallas can maybe win like, I don't know, 31-24. Wouldn't surprise me. Then at least you're breaking even. It's a push. Get your money back. But yeah, I like Dallas to cover, -7. I like the over 52 as well. This is one that I just was kind of trying to overthink it a bit, being like, well, Dallas' defense, it's okay. Giants' defense is frisky at times. Maybe the under will hit, but I want to overthink it this week on certain picks. Just Dallas, over. It's just the obvious pick, right? It's just the obvious pick. Dallas scores points. Giants have scored points at times too. Give me the over 52. Next up, we have my favorite game of the week. I think a lot of people's favorite game. Buffalo, 2.5-point underdogs at Kansas City. Kansas City obviously stumbling a little bit. They're 2-2. Their defense is horrible. Buffalo had that weird week 1 loss, and they've been on fire ever since. Yeah, it's a crazy game. Rematch of the AFC Championship game. It's a great game in itself, where Kansas City won. I think Buffalo will just be out for revenge this game. They're on fire. They're playing well. They, by all means, could have had a letdown against a bad Houston team last week, and they came out there guns a-blazing. They beat them 40-0. So that gave me a lot of confidence in them. Chiefs are just sputtering, and their defense is just bad, man. It's just really bad. They can't get pressure. They can't cover. I don't know. I like Buffalo outright in this game. 2.5 points. You kind of have to just pick that team with that, low spread to win it outright, which I'm going to. I like Buffalo. A little nervous that's in Kansas City, but I don't think that'll really bug Josh Allen that much. I think their offense there's a lot of quick play, like kind of hurry up stuff anyways. They don't really need to rely too much on being able to hear. They'll run the ball, I think, pretty well against this Chiefs defense as well. Get the crowd kind of out of it a bit, maybe. Again, I could be very wrong here. Chiefs could use this as a bounce back spot. Big game. Holmes rises to the occasion. The defense is respectable. Could very well see the Chiefs winning this game big for all I know. It's the Chiefs, the Super Bowl runner-up, champions the year before. This could be the spot where the Chiefs take off. They need to. I mean, that division they're last in the division right now at 2-2. So they need this game badly. But I think the Bills are rolling right now. The Bills want to make a statement. And I feel like a lot of times in the playoffs when a team, wins, like whether it be a championship game or divisional round or whatever, they play each other the next year. I just feel like I don't care to really look up the stats to back it up. I just feel like I know that oftentimes that team gets revenge the next year. So yeah, I like Buffalo outright, and really high over under 56.5. Again, not gonna overthink it. Not gonna overthink and be like, oh, it's too high. It's too high. Nope, just hit it. It's two teams that can score the ball at will. Kansas City's defense sucks. Buffalo's defense, I think, is good, but they played Houston, who can't score. They played Miami, right? Can't really score much. Maybe I still think they have a good defense, but I think you have to take with a grain of salt some of their more recent performances based on the quality of competition, offensively anyway. So this is really the first good offense they're playing all year. So I think Kansas City will score. This could be like that, that Chiefs was it Chiefs Bucks game when Fitzpatrick was still the starter, I think, or something, or the Chiefs Rams game where it was like 51-48 or something. This could be like that. Maybe I don't think it would be that high, but I could see this being a barn burner. I could see this being like 45-40 or something like that. So I don't know. I'm taking the over because it'll be fun to root for on a Sunday night game, a high over. It'll be a fun game to root for that. So taking it all the way. Last up, we have the Monday night game. Colts 7-point underdogs going to Baltimore. I alluded to this in my recap of Week 4, saying that I like the Colts against Baltimore, that I was going to hammer the spread, whatever it was, and it's a little higher than I expected. I thought it would be a little closer. Colts coming off a win. Baltimore also coming off a good win against the Denver team that jury's still out on them, I think, on Denver. I almost picked the Colts straight up, but I got burned last week betting against the Ravens. I knew they were good, obviously. I mean, they beat, they're 3-1, but I almost picked the Colts to win outright. I'm not going to. I think this could be a game where it's close, because Colts maybe aren't as bad as 1-3 is the record, but I think they'll keep this game close. I could see it even being like tied, or like maybe Colts have the lead and then we get another Justin Tucker walk-off field goal, right? I think that could happen. So I like Indy to, play desperate, 1-3, keep it close. They're not as bad as their record shows. I think they can kind of compete defensively. Their offense can run the ball pretty well. Wentz at times has looked kind of like his old self. So I like Colts with the points. Again, if I had to pick a score here, let's just say I could honestly see another walk-off field goal. I could see this time it being tied. I'll go 27-24 Baltimore here. So with that being said, I'm going to take the over 46. Again, two teams. Baltimore a little more efficient offensively. Colts can score at times, so I think that's kind of a low total. So I'll take the over 46 there, and the Colts just with the points. Gonna be angry if that money line hits. I was really close to taking the Colts to win the game, but it's in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson has looked good. He's kind of got flown under the radar a little bit, but he's looked good. Yeah, so give me the Colts just with the points for now. And yeah, it's my last game. Looking for a bounce back, looking to capture some of the Week 3 magic I had. Hopefully can at least go a couple games above 500 here and not get killed by the totals this time. So yeah, for now, that's a preview, and we'll be checking back in after the Seahawks game on Thursday night.